Deep in an uncharted forest, completely hidden from human eyes, lies a settlement of people barely the size of a finger. This hidden sanctuary is known as Tiny World Village. Just beyond the village perimeter, an unnatural red light has begun to pulse. It remains completely unnoticed by the tiny inhabitants. The village is currently occupied with a massive festival, celebrating the recovery of the golden seed, the biological core that provides their only source of light. At the center of the celebration is Chintu. He is the very first villager in generations to venture into the deep forest and return with the seed intact. The crisis seemed straightforward. The seed vanished, the village fell into darkness, and Chintu navigated the wilderness to bring it home. While the village sees a closed case, a forensic look at Chintu's journey suggests the missing seed was a secondary symptom. The primary threat is the specific force that drove the seed's taker to the village in the first place. Chintu began his investigation by crossing the river on a leaf boat, entering a forest sector where the scale of the flora makes every meter a navigational challenge. His first encounter was with a massive frog. At this scale, its impact created a localized tidal wave, presenting a standard predator-prey dynamic. However, the frog's behavior was atypical for a hunter. It remained stationary because a large thorn was embedded in its foot, rendering it defensive rather than aggressive. Chintu removed the thorn. This established a temporary alliance between two species that normally occupied different levels of the food chain. When Chintu later became trapped in a spider's web, the massive frog returned to free him. This interaction follows a clear logic of reciprocal survival common in this environment. This ecosystem operates on predictable cycles of cause and effect. The hazards Chintu faced were part of a balanced, closed-loop environment. This provides us with a baseline to identify when something truly foreign enters the system. Chintu eventually tracked the seed to a deep, lightless cave at the edge of the forest's known interior. Inside, he found an injured firefly, who had taken the golden seed to provide light and warmth for her offspring, who were trapped in the cave's recesses. Chintu gathered glowing flora, built a substitute light tower, and reclaimed the golden seed, without leaving the young in darkness. What caused the firefly's injury? This map shows an erratic retreat from a specific point of origin. Fireflies naturally stay in open, elevated areas. Seeking shelter in a subterranean cave is a total behavioral deviation, suggesting an external pressure forced her into hiding. The firefly's actions indicate she was fleeing a localized disturbance. The theft of the golden seed was a desperate survival response to a larger, unseen change in the forest's conditions. Chintu's return was met with a celebratory moral conclusion that those perceived as enemies are often just individuals in need of assistance. While Chintu solved the immediate problem of the firefly's distress, the environmental trigger that injured her and forced her underground remains unaddressed. Focus now shifts to the village boundary, where that same red light is currently casting long shadows through the undergrowth. The golden seed is a known biological energy source. By comparison, this red light pulses with a frequency that does not match any known flora or fauna in the region. The firefly's arrival proves that the forest's deep interior hazards are now reaching the village's doorstep. The isolation that once protected this community has been breached. Chintu has already proven he can survive the forest's natural hazards. Now the village must prepare for the unnatural threat that drove the rest of the forest into hiding.